everybody out there in YouTube land. Jake of the OneManBand is back again, and welcome to another edition of RWBY Feedback. RWBY Feedback, where I go ahead and give feedback on your guys' questions and comments on the latest RWBY episodic review, which was episode 10 of Volume 3, Battle of Beacon. I still need to figure that out, or at least commit it to memory. But let's get to some comments! Some things that nobody's gonna care about, but... No, don't say that. Somebody might care about it. RWBY was able to call her locker from Sun's scroll. I've always thought that you could only call your locker from your own scroll, only so that they wouldn't be able... there wouldn't be any weapon stealing or something like that. But now we know that the locker can be called from a random scroll, kinda concerns me. You probably need a code to call your locker, but what if someone is bored one day and decides to punch in a bunch of random codes? I'm pretty sure those lockers keep track of all the places it's been. So I'm pretty sure there's a student that checks their locker history, just because it sees that their locker has been to Vacuo, and starts to freak out because that student has never been to Vacuo before. You bring up a very good point. The fact that RWBY was just able to just call her rocket-propelled locker so easily using Sun's scroll is, I think it may have just been an overlook by the development team, because it's like, well, obviously RWBY doesn't have her scroll anymore, but she needs to get her weapon. So we just kind of need it to get there somehow, fast. I mean, there probably are special security measures, like you said, there's probably codes, but the way it arrived so fast was mostly, I think, just due to plot concerns. Thing number 2 that nobody's gonna care about: how the flipping hell is Port still alive when he has an axe gun as a weapon? I mean, the recoil of the gun and having something sharp that close to the head and ribs, you are bound to cut something off. I understand that Port is a very skilled huntsman, but how did he not cut something off when he started his huntsman training? Well, the thing about his gun, how it has the axe heads right there on the butt. Now, obviously, as you said, he's a very skilled huntsman, but I think what you're failing to see is that a gun like that, how you're supposed to hold it, you're supposed to hold it so that the recoil goes straight into your shoulder. It doesn't go up, it doesn't go down, because if it does, you're doing something wrong and you're gonna hurt yourself. So he's probably just trained himself to just go back, not to go up or down with the recoil of the gun. And yeah, I mean, I do see that there is definitely a problem with the axe heads being right there, but hey, it's RWBY, and as we have already seen, science is weird, and even physics sometimes don't apply. You know what's interesting? The location the dragon awakens from. When the dragon flies to Vale, it's over a wreckage of a city. It could be Mountain Glen. It probably is Mountain Glen. That's the only ruins we've really seen of a city that's around Vale. And that thing and the grim it creates could be the reason why Mountain Glen was a failure. But there was another question I would wonder. Are there more of the Alpha Grim, and the ones who create the Grim on each of the continents of Remnant sealed away in ancient times? Well, I think yes. These Dragon Grim are definitely higher echelon, like you said, alphas. They create Grim with whatever it is that leaks out of them. And the fact that maybe all of them have been locked away is something that was done in ancient times. Maybe each of the kingdoms was set up in a certain area so they can kind of keep an eye on where each of these dragons was locked away. I mean, like I said in the review, I could go on for like half an hour just talking about that dragon, and just there's so much to talk about it, and I'm going to make a video where I'm going to talk about the Grim Dragon and all the different types of Grim in general, but this is definitely something really good to to bring up how the dragon being buried under the mountain may have been the reason why Mountain Glen failed. You forgot about Crow and Glinda. What do you think they'll do? And I hope Tai Yang will help out, you know, being a protective father of his girls, even though he knows they can take care of themselves. But still, I want to see him in there and who his voice actor will be. And I know that Winter is probably back in Atlas, but what if she somehow came back to help the fight? To be honest, in my opinion, Winter did not have that much screen time. It's true. I also think, well, maybe Winter will sort of come back later on in the volume. But another thing kind of came to my mind. What if, due to this complete and utter failure on Ironwood's part, the leadership of the kingdoms will want to put a new general in charge, you know, oust Ironwood out because of this failure. And maybe they'll put Winter in charge, and maybe that was part of her plan all along. I mean, I'm just saying this is all basic theory stuff just going on in my head, but like you said, I would like to see Winter again. I would love to see Tai Yang come into the fight. And what's going on with Crow and Glinda in the episode? To be honest, it wasn't really something I thought that needed to be brought up. I mean, they were fighting Grimm in the city. They were doing exactly what Ozpin told them to do. And the one thing that I think Glinda really did that I mentioned in my review was that when the dragon was awaking, she said no. Like, oh, she knew what this thing was and what was happening. And that's the only thing that I brought up about Glinda in the review. Because for the most part, they're just doing their job, just fighting. And I can't really analyze fighting of somebody that we've just seen fighting before. Like them fight before. Maybe Ruby learned swordsmanship from good old Uncle Crow. That's what seems to be the popular belief right now, is that Crow is the one who taught Ruby the ways of the sword. Because as we know, Crow fights with the sword, and although his sword transforms into a scythe, he's obviously a swordsman first. So that's what he probably did. He probably trained Ruby in swordsmanship first, and then taught her the ways of the scythe, but she just prefers to use a scythe instead of a sword. So, theory time. If Beacon goes down, I think Team RWBY is going to be in the four different kingdoms in the next volume. Well, technically it'd be the 3 different kingdoms, since we're currently in one, Vale. But I know what you're saying. Hear me out. RWBY currently has no phone. She made it her goal to take control back on Ironwood's ship. Thing is, she's outnumbered. Doesn't know how to fly a ship, and has no way of telling anyone she has it. So, her only option is to crash it. Or she can just jump off it, you know, maybe get in a dropship. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what her expertise in flying is, but maybe RWBY didn't think this whole plan through. I saw a comment on another video that pointed out that Cinder had Mercury filming at Elysian Nights. She has control of the CCT, and she's filming Atlas military firing on Vale citizens. If Ironwood and Ozpin die, there will be no way to get the message out that it was a mistake, causing war between Atlas and Vale. There you go! Hit it right on top of the head! That's actually quite ingenious. Dude, freaking A for you! Weiss, seeing that Atlas is going to war with Vale, Winter would want Weiss home, especially if Beacon is destroyed. Blake, I imagine Sun coming to help her, then telling her RWBY was on a ship. Seeing the ship crash, everyone will assume RWBY died. And with nowhere else to call home, she might go with Sun back to Mistral, the same place Adam mentioned returning to in episode 7, where I also imagine Cinder's boss is. Yang will also, with her also assuming RWBY's dead, she might go with Uncle Crow to find her mother, who might be in Vacuo. Lastly, RWBY, I honestly have no idea what she could do after crashing the ship, but I do think she'll remain in Vale. Side note, does anyone realize you can hear Neo's voice in episode 1 when she stomps on that guy? Okay, first off, the way Neo's voice comes into play, she merely smirks at him. Like, I know that there's a voice, like, she does that. That isn't words! I don't count that as her talking. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. But the way you're thinking about how Team RWBY will be separated, that's something that I've kind of thought of that might happen in this next volume, how Team RWBY will be separated and then we'll have to join back together. And having it end like this with the assumption that RWBY is dead would definitely be a cliffhanger to end the volume on. So if you've called it, good freaking job for you. It's not a grim dragon, it's a grim wyvern. Dragons have 4 legs and wings. Wyverns have wings and legs that are shown in this episode. Alright, let me just nip this in the bud. I have seen dozens of threads and pictures on like Facebooks and other social media sites that have been arguing, it's a dragon, it's a wyvern, it's a dragon, it's a wyvern. Does it really matter? It's a giant flying grim that's going to kill everyone. Okay? And if you look at the end credits when it's showing concept art of the creature, it says Grim Dragon. So say what you want, but that's what it says in the freaking episode. So just stop arguing. Just be in awe of its amazingness. Does anyone else think that Ironwood's gun looks like the castle from Hellsing? No, I think that too. I originally was going to make a joke of him having Alucard's gun, but you see, Alucard's hand cannons, they're magazine fed, while Ironwood's hand cannon is wheel fed. It has a wheel like a revolver. So, that's the one reason why I didn't make that joke. But I was definitely thinking that. Go watch Hellsing Ultimate, it's amazing. I love it. Hey Jake, have you read the RWBY manga? We get to learn more about Weiss and the context of the white trailer. I just keep getting reminded of my failures of not making videos about the RWBY manga. I'm sorry, I've been just so busy. Okay, I'm sorry, definitely once the volume is over, you'll get videos, okay? Just until then, I'm just gonna cry that I can't make the videos because there's just so much going on right now. But I've read the first chapter of the manga. As of right now, I think the second chapter came out a little while ago, and maybe the third chapter, like I said, I'm not sure. Interesting coincidence. In the shot of all the students uniting in the stadium, Ren is at the center of them. If anyone knows Rooster Teeth and the timing of this episode's release, I feel like it's a nod to Monty. Probably just coincidence, but I like to dream. No, I definitely think it was done like that for a reason, and it was because we've come up to the anniversary of Monty Oom's death. It was a few days ago from when this video is coming out, but I think it was definitely there for a reason, and I know I kind of glossed over it, but I definitely saw that there, and I kind of took it as a nod for that reason. Don't worry, guys. Neil will take care of your little red friend. Oh, Roman, I love you so friggin' much. Let's go grab a brewski sometime. Adam's "hello, my darling" line makes me think Adam and Blake had a special kind of relationship beyond student and teacher. Blake was about 16 or 17 when she left, so she definitely would have reached the age to be interested in that kind of thing. Now, are you considering that their relationship was like a two-way relationship where they both had feelings for each other, or was it kind of one way, or was it maybe an abusive romantic relationship? Because to be honest, either one of those options is definitely open, but I think we'll learn probably a little bit more about their relationship from the past in the next episode. The dragon under the mountain? A nod to The Hobbit if you ask me. That's another thing. I wanted to make that joke, but then I thought, no, I'm gonna save it for later. But I think that was definitely like a nod to The Hobbit, how the dragon came out of the mountain and is now going toward the kingdom of men to obviously wreak destruction over them. So Neo is a chameleon? Neo, 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 chameleon. You come and go. You come and go. I hate this game of emotion. potions we play! Shut up! Don't touch me! I have a theory. What if each kingdom has their own legendary Grim, like Vale has its Grim Dragon, other kingdoms might have a Grim Phoenix, Grim Titan, Grim Hydra, etc. Well, I think that would be kind of cool, how maybe the Alpha Grim are kind of those big legendary creatures of yore and myth that, you know, are the great creatures that a hero has to fight to try to defeat. And each one of them wasn't able to be defeated in the past. They were simply buried or locked away. I think that'd be something cool, something to broaden the universe of RWBY and to make us think, oh, okay, now they gotta fight this one, and then they gotta fight all these big ones. I think that'd be kind of cool to see happen. RWBY's fight versus Neo should be considered to be something to worry about for RWBY, that is. Especially after the comment from Rooster Teeth about Neo doing something that will make fans hate her. Well, where is this comment? I would like to read it, please. But if what you're saying is correct and that Neo is going to do something to make fans hate her, it would have to be something quite drastic for me to hate her. I wonder if Jean's semblance will awaken if he fights Cinder. It would be convenient, though I don't think it would be of any use against a maiden's power. It may be able to buy time for Pyrrha to gain her maiden power. Now, there have been literally dozens of comments all about Jean, how his semblance might awaken when he fights Cinder, and how the Cinder versus Ozpin versus Jean versus Pyrrha fight is going to go on. Now, this is pretty much me giving my opinion on all those comments. Okay, so yes, I think now is probably the best time for Jean's semblance to definitely awaken. Now, whether it's going to awaken out of necessity to protect Pyrrha, or it's going to awaken with Pyrrha dead in his arms and he just goes full-blown Super Saiyan, or it's going to awaken in some other way, is entirely up for debate. All I know and all I believe is that we're going to see Jean's semblance awaken. And I think what's going to happen is that when Ozpin knows that they're being followed, he's probably going to stay behind to try to fend Cinder off while he sends Pyrrha and Jean to Amber to try to complete the process. But somehow Cinder will be able to get past Ozpin, and so then it's just Jean and Cinder. And, you know, Jean's gonna do his best, but he's gonna be nothing against a maiden's power. And then maybe Pyrrha might jump in. Why is my phone going off? And, you know, Pyrrha might jump in and maybe she'll end up dying or be severely hurt, which will lead Jean to just go completely crazy and maybe beat Cinder back, or maybe just dish out enough power to get Pyrrha out of there and maybe abandoning Amber. I mean, once again, I didn't really want to theorize about how I thought that was going to go down because I was just too excited to see it next week. I was too busy excited about it. Oh, and as for what Jean's semblance may be, there's practically like a billion ideas what it might be. A shield, you know, like a super shield. An aura of protection, sort of a Super Saiyan aura. Maybe an aura of fire resistance. You know, it's just all over the place, but they all pretty much have in common that it's going to be somewhat based on a shield or defensive aura, which I think is a pretty good idea that it's going to be a defensive aura. So that's what I'm thinking. Dude, the droids are called Atlesian Knights, you know, because they come from Atlas. Now, I understand where you guys are coming from, and there's been a lot of comments being like, dude, why are you saying Elysium? It's Atlesium. Why the frick is my phone going off? The reason I said Elysium was because I swore I saw somewhere that it was actually spelled that way. But you guys may be right. I probably not very likely could be right. But the fact is, we knew what we were talking about. Like, we knew the connection. I'll look it up. I'll make sure that next video I spell it correctly. okay? Senpai, can I get a shout out in vid? No. No, you can't get a shout out. RJ's House of Gaming. No, not gonna happen. Senpai does not notice you. Jake, what weapon do you like the most from RWBY? By the way, when Torchwick made the Knight's turn, I was just thinking, Order 66. Yes, there have been plenty of comments that have been all like, oh, the Elysian Knights when they're attacking the Huntsman. It's just like, execute. Oh wait, I gotta do this correctly. Execute Order 66. And yeah, upon looking back, it does just scream, oh, it's Order 66, and stuff like that. You know, it just screams like that, but I didn't make a nod to it because I wasn't thinking like that. I was too busy distracted by the freaking Grim Dragon during the episode to make the connection of Order 66. So there you go. But to answer your first question about what my favorite weapon is, well, it kind of breaks down into two categories. Literally, like, what weapon is my favorite just like out of all of them because it's amazing, and what weapon is my favorite in the fact that what would I want to use if I was actually like in RWBY in that universe. For my favorite weapon, just due to sheer awesomeness, I honestly can't make a decision right off the top of my head, but if I were to own a weapon and have it to defend myself in the world of Remnant, it would definitely be Cinder's weapons before she got her maiden powers. The dual curved short swords that turn into a bow, because I am a dual wielder and I am an archer, so she basically hit it right on top of the head. Okay, Jake, can we seriously talk about Adam? Well, I don't know. What's the talk gonna be about? I'm not kidding, but I literally screamed when he said, "Hello, my darling." This scared me, like, truly terrified me. He sounded so unhinged, per se. Like, he sounded like he broke when Blake was gone. Like, this is just my opinion, but I don't know if this matters. So, thanks for reading. Bye, smiley face. But yeah, I think that was kind of the word I wanted to get out when I was doing the review, is that he seemed unhinged, just like his brain is kind of sparking, you know, and then he's seeing this person who he has been with for so many years and then just up and left him, that he probably has snapped a little bit. I mean, he's taking the fight to the enemy he's always wanted to fight. He's killed a lot of people. He's feeling good, and now Blake just comes back into the picture. I mean, that just may have been the straw that broke the camel's back, but I think to truly understand what's going on in his mind, we're gonna have to see him in the next video doing stuff. So, there's probably gonna be a lot of me talking about Adam in the next review. Jake, please read my comment. My comment, please. My name is Griffin. You know, like Grim Griffin. Why should I read your comment? I mean, there's no point to it. Why should I read your comment? Like, take this comment, reply to the comment, and put a reason why I should read your comment. And then we'll get back to it. What's more important that you would rather see? Neo versus RWBY, or Velvet's camera weapon in action? Why not both? I can't choose. I can't make that decision. It will be both or neither. Please, please, please read. I have two predictions. The first is about John. What if he discovers his semblance, which I'm pretty sure he's going to? What if it's really powerful? Maybe even powerful than Pyrrha's. The last part is probably close to zero, but still an idea. Well, I don't think we should be talking about how powerful his semblance is. Maybe we should be talking about how practical it is. I mean, because to be honest, some semblances are kind of more practical and useful in any situation more than others. I mean, Pyrrha's is pretty much up there because she can control polarity. So pretty much wherever there's metal, she can have power. Nora can pretty much generate her own electricity, therefore amping herself up, and she can take electricity from anywhere else to amp her up. And to think, what if John's semblance is a shield defensive semblance like we've been talking about? Pretty much as long as his aura levels stay up, which we know that he has a lot of it, he can pretty much have maybe an unpregnable shield to protect whatever he wants. My second idea. Is there a relationship between the Grim and the Moon? Both of them seem to be falling apart. So my theory is, what if the Grimm arose from the shadow cast by the moon? In the beginning, it said that they arose from darkness. Those are my theories. Thank you for reading. Now, there have been a lot of theories, ideas, thoughts about connecting Grimm to the moon. Now, I did a video a while back, but that was a while back, so a lot has happened. But to be honest, the Grimm being connected with the moon, there just has to be something more there to make it concrete. I mean, I want to just flat out say the Grimm and the moon, they're connected somehow. But I just need one thing, one little strand of string theory that might connect them, and then I'll flat out say it. But I do like your idea of, like, they arose from the shadow of the shattered moon. That would be that's like poetic. Jake Senpai! You might find it interesting to note, after episode 10, Miles Luna tweeted that his favorite Grimm has not yet been revealed. Given what Miles has written, that is a terrifying thought. But it's an epically awesome thought in my mind. What can be cooler than a frickin' dragon Grimm? Oh, the possibilities are almost endless. Jake, maybe Ironwood does have a robot arm. Or maybe he is actually right-handed and loves watching porn. Well, come on. He has a military to run. Do you think he actually has time to watch porn? Probably not. Did the Nevermore smash Penny? Now, once again, there have been a lot of comments, talking about this, how the Nevermore came down into the arena right on top of Penny's remains. Now, no. The Nevermore did not crush Penny. If you watch closely, you can see that as it lands, Penny's parts go flying toward Pyrrha and John. So her body is still intact, it's just still in, the 4 pieces that it was. So Penny is not crushed, there is still hope for repair. My question is, where is Winter? Well, Winter returned to Atlas because her mission in Beacon was done. So that's where Winter is, in Atlas. OMG, it's Smaug. Somebody get a giant arrow! Well, if you truly want to take down a dragon, you don't just need a giant arrow, you need a black arrow. It's very specific. Yo, Jake! Sorry for the long comment. No, this isn't a long comment. You obviously haven't seen some of the comments that I've read, but that's okay. I'm still gonna read it. The reason so many students are fleeing is because at the end of the day, they are just students, and this invasion is being made out to be something full-fledged huntsmen can't handle, or at least are greatly struggling with. The ones who stayed are the ones who were in the tournament, the best of the best when it comes to the students. The only one that seems to be out of place might be Jean, but with his growth, I think he has become a bare minimum on average warrior, and an exceptional leader of one of the best teams. All the rest are the average students who very well could drop out of school, realize that they aren't up for it, or just aren't well trained or equipped at current point of their education to deal with such an apocalyptic situation. Remember, shadowing a master huntsman around a deserted ruin, there might run into a few weaker to average Grimm, was considered too dangerous for first-year students last season. You really put it in perspective, and a lot of people have been putting, comments like this about how most of the students aren't fighting. How, they aren't in the tournament, so they aren't the best, and they may not even have their weapons there because they come from other kingdoms. But, I want to think that if they're going to these academies, then they want to fight. They want to be in the thick of it. But, maybe something like this is a wake-up call for most of them, that maybe they don't want to be huntsmen because it's scary. It's scary when there's an entire Grimm invasion coming on. But that's how you separate the wheat from the chaff. Situations like this. And we don't even know what the graduation rate of these academies are. Maybe out of 100 teams each year, maybe only 20 end up graduating. That would be a very steep curve. But, you know, I like how you kind of put in perspective. All you guys who made comments like this, you put in perspective on why these students aren't fighting. But all I know is, no matter how low class I would be, I would still fight. And I hope you would fight too. Because, well, we need all the help we can get. If you pause episode 10 at 1 minute 37 seconds, you can see a Nevermore carrying away someone. And according to the RWBY wiki, that someone is Roy from Team Bronze. I'm guessing he's dead. Holy crap, let's take a look at that. I looked all around 1 minute and 37 seconds in the episode, and all there was the Nevermore that was above the arena. So, unless it was somewhere else in the episode, I didn't see it. But, I mean, if they were carrying someone away, then holy crap, yeah, they're probably dead. Atlas is a Greek historian who was tricked into doing something, or stealing something. Correction. I think you may be talking about Prometheus. Prometheus was the one who stole fire. No. It was Prometheus who created humanity. Atlas, I believe, stole fire from the gods and gave it to man, and because of that, Atlas was then forced to hold the world on his back for all eternity. And they were both titans, not historians. Hey Jake, what RWBY character do you think you would be? Well, actually, I took one of those quizzes on the internet, like an 11-question quiz, like, you know, what drink would you like? What color do you like? What article of clothing would you take into battle? You know, stuff like that. And I actually came up with I would be Pyrrha. And it actually kind of fit. Also, did you think of Skyrim when you saw that dragon? No, actually, I thought of The Hobbit. I thought of Smaug. Because, to be honest, I haven't played Skyrim in a very long time. And I had just recently watched The Hobbit. I feel that Rooster Teeth will pull a berserk ending where the whole world turns into hell and is overrun by Grimm, and the human race needs to stand together to survive. You know, the end of Berserk, when I actually watched it, like, literally, with that last episode, I was just like, what the hell is this? This is crazy! But, man, I liked that ending. I liked that anime. It was pretty good. And, to have it end and turn into, like, sort of the Berserk world, it would kind of be sort of cool. I think that'd be pretty freaking awesome. I mean, not for the people living there, but awesome to watch. Hey everybody! Once again, this is gonna be the end of the feedback video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that I got to some comments that you guys wanted me to answer. Let's see. Alright, that's good. And hey, if you guys are interested, feel free to check out Team Theory over there on Facebook. Be sure to head on over there if you have a crackpot theory and you want to discuss some crackpot theories with other crackpot theorists. That's what it's there for. And if you wish, you can take a look at my Patreon page. Big thanks to all my Patreon sponsors, and big special thanks to Duncan Ishler and Grant Allen Hill. You guys are awesome. I'm currently working on some special privileges for certain Patreon sponsors, so keep an eye out for that. And also be sure to check out some other videos that are probably floating around over there. Some Grimm outside, I know it. So there's videos up there on the screen. Hopefully you guys see them. And be sure to like and favorite if you've enjoyed. Subscribe, of course, if you feel inclined to. I'll see you guys next time I'm out there in YouTube land. Be a good person, tip your waitresses, keep moving forward. I got Grimm to kill, and I'll see you on the other side.